Hey everybody, it's Greg McDaniel. Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Real Estate Uncensored. As you can tell, I am in full control of you for the next hour. Matt has relinquished the reins to me. I'm sure he is sweating bullets somewhere on a freeway heading back to Omaha, Nebraska to do an event with Jeff Cohn out there, a live event. So I'm doing this today. Guys, I am so excited about today's event, guys. I have an amazing guest. His name is Tim Stafford. This gentleman, I'm gonna do a brief intro for you. Then I'm gonna let him take the reins and tell you a little bit about him. I met him on a blab. He and I randomly ran into each other. We just started talking. And guys, today we're gonna have him back several times because there's no way in hell we're going to be able to cover everything this man has up between his ears and some of the courses he's going to be able to offer you guys and how he's going to revolutionize your social media and the way you look at it and how you're going to be able to understand it. He's going to break it down so that by the time you get done seeing all the different shows that he's going to be on it, and if you buy some of his programs, guys, I have one of them, and it was just a quick little snapshot of something. It was epic how easy he made social media. So, Tim, welcome to the show, man. Tell us a little about you.
Yeah, well, my name's Tim Stafford. I live in Central Florida, so you guys are I see sun in the background. Mine is going down, and so so that's good. I live here with my wife and my two kids. I am a consultant for many different nonprofits, mostly do a lot of social media consulting, and also just kind of general. We call it image building consulting. So what we do is everything from email blasts to anything having to do with building communities. And we do a lot of nonprofits. We do a lot of religious nonprofits, a lot of non-religious nonprofits. I work with a couple of restaurants, a plumber, and a couple of real estate people here. But my biggest niche is in nonprofits because I was in education for 25 years. And that's really where currently I work with a university. I design courses for them. We talk a lot about these things, talk a lot about education and the impact of social media on education, how people learn, and how people act in digital environments. And so what happened was I was going to grad school, and I was studying this idea of how people act in digital environments, and it was weird. I started to talk to people outside of school about, man, did you know that people do this and this? And suddenly that became a consulting job for me with a couple of different people because they had no idea what I was talking about, and because really, if you're going to be successful with social media, Greg, it's not really about knowing the platform, although that's true. You have to know it. It's really understanding that it's always about the human behind the mouse. And if we understand how people learn and engage and how they interact with information in a digital environment, then we can be successful. And so it just kind of what was kind of just something I was studying to finish grad school became this thing that turns out I knew something about that became something that was helpful to people. And that's always been my goal, Greg, is to just be able to help people reach the goals and the dreams that they have, and reach the people that they want to be able to reach. And so in the nonprofit world, of course, that's very important because that's how nonprofits survive. It's through the relationships with people. And so anyway, so but to your point, we met on Blab. That was the first day I had ever been on Blab, and you were the first thing I looked at.
Hey, so, I guess I'm making an impression.
So I thought, man, this is really going to work. I was pretty excited. I thought, man, my first day, the first guy I meet, I've already made a connection. This has got to work, this Blab thing. So that was great.
Blab was a lot of fun when you popped on, and you know what? As we get people to view, start viewing, get on and watching us live today. Yeah. You guys, we were talking off air, and Tim and I were laughing about the fact that Blab has changed their platform so much, and how I used to be an avid blabber, and now I don't go on because it's so hard to work. And Tim's going to go deep on some of this stuff, but you know what, Tim? Why don't we have a question that I want to tackle. I got off one of the Facebook groups that we go to all the time called Lead Gen Scripts and Objections. Great group, guys. There's another great group called Lab Coat Agents. Get out there and get a hold of either one of those. It's a wealth of knowledge if you can't get a hold of me or Tim. But okay, so Tom Beckman. And I don't know the answer to this, and I would love to know more about it. He's asking if there's if there is any way or plugin or tool where you can plug in like your Snapchats into any of the other social media platforms, aka Facebook, Twitter, or anything else like YouTube, or anything that you can take and get those snaps so they don't all automatically just vanish?
Yeah, there's a platform out there called IFTTT, and that stands for if this then that.
Great
It's a
site.
very popular platform. My understanding is that Snapchat is going to become a piece of IFTTT. Now, I haven't looked at it, to be honest with you, in the last probably 30 days. I haven't looked at IFTTT for anything new. I have a lot of IFTTT users myself. I have a lot of recipes, but the idea is that you can go to this site and you can tell them, if this happens on Facebook, then tweet it over here, and you can set that up. And my understanding is that if it's not there already, it's going to be a part of that IFTTT platform. Snapchat will be, so that you can actually have recipes based on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook or whatever to Snapchat, or from Snapchat to the other things. And that's going to be really important. I'm not aware of any other third-party platform for Snapchat, because it's not something that all of my clients use. It's really something that is only now beginning to really take that's really starting to roll out in a heavy way. Because up until now, let's face it, it really was, people snapping naked pictures to each other, and until it kind of lost that mystique, the business world has not really jumped on it as heavy. But now that the major newspapers, magazines, editorial places are jumping onto Snapchat, it's really becoming something that has some fairly good street cred. And so I think we're going to see a lot of use for it. But to be honest with you, it's something that people have been staying away from. So unfortunately, I haven't been as involved in it myself, because for the same reasons, I just haven't needed to. But I think that IFTTT is going to be the window for most people. And by the way, if you haven't checked that out, you really need to. That's a really great website.
Oh yeah,
and
I actually,
it really is helpful.
I love IFTTT, and what we're going to do, we're going to wrap up the end of the show with kind of talking about how to utilize IFTTT for the two platforms that we're going to talk about today, guys, because we just do not have the bandwidth. You can already tell that Tim is an absolute fountain of wealth, and he is going to he's going to be like a fire hose, just blasting you with intel. You better have a pen in front of you if you know what's good for you. All righty. So all right, so let's do this. Let me do a couple of shout outs, and then what, why don't we do this? Tim, you just kind of think about the two of the platforms. We'll do a 10,000 foot view, guys. He's going to talk about a bunch of the different platforms, and we'll plow deep on two of them, and then we'll finish up the guys at the end. So stay put, because at the end, he's going to show you how to use IFTTT effectively and how powerful this is. This will blow your mind. I fucking guarantee you that. All right, here we go, guys. Josh, dude, first listener, man, he's just starting to get out there. I really appreciate you, doing it, man. I'm really pumped to get some time to talk to you. JJ, you big pimp player, man. It was so much fun getting some time to talk to you the other day and doing our McDaniel hangout. Guys, we had a lot of fun. JJ and I talked for 2+ hours, and at the end of it, we were both exhausted, but we had some great stuff. Johnny Camp, man, he has reached out to me. Thank you for reaching out to me over the phone. I'm really looking forward to us talking. You know what? You've touched base with me on YouTube before, but it's nice to put a voice with a name. Tom Miller, what's up, bro? Yeah, you are on the bandwagon as well for the McDaniel Challenge. Really pumped to have you. Big Mike from Clayton. Hey, man, it was awesome to get lunch with you the other day. A lot of fun sharing our very stories. He and I have like carbon copy pasts, and so it was a lot of fun just to hang out with him. Besides, he's a tall ass mofo. He's my size. He's 6'5". I'm like, I am not used to looking at someone straight in the eyes before. That was odd. Then we have Spencer, and we have Sean, who just hit me up today about taking the McDaniel Challenge. I'm really glad to have you guys on board on that, guys. Oh, and Victor's in LA, bro. What is up, man? I'm pumped that you are liking the show and you're getting a lot out of it. But guys, the McDaniel Challenge is no joke, booking up faster than I probably ever had thought. So you're probably thinking to yourself, what is the McDaniel Challenge, Greg? And I said, well, it's a really good question. I'm glad you guys asked that. What it is, guys, it is an opportunity to get 1 hour to 2 hours with moi free. Okay. It is, you guys are going to call me on my phone. I always joke around about this. This is my phone. Oh, wait, hold on. It does work. See, it lights up. I want you guys to dial these numbers, okay, in the correct sequential order. 925 1978. 925 915 1978. Get off your ass. Take the challenge. Guys, it is June 14th is my next available time. So if you're thinking that you're just going to sit on the fence, please stop doing that. This shit is booking up fast. Okay. So again, we will get another chance to get that number. Take the McDaniel challenge. You SOBs better have a freaking pen and paper in front of you, because if you don't, you are going to lose out. So Tim, what are we talking about today? What are those two social media platforms you think that an agent should know right off the bat?
Well, I'll tell you the truth. You need to either choose. I'm going to answer this in the wrong way, Greg, so I just apologize. But you need to either choose to use Facebook or Twitter and LinkedIn. If I had my choice, I would tell people to use all three. But the truth is, you need to use either Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, and LinkedIn. So, and I'm going to tell you why, because Facebook and Twitter have very different uses, and so it kind of depends on what you're looking to do. Mm-hmm. And then LinkedIn is very important for professionals in general for a variety of reasons. And so it's just a good idea for you to be on LinkedIn and be engaged in that. I think a person, though, could pretty easily do all three if they had a good strategy. Mm-hmm. and they had some time to spend every day.
So you know what, for the average agent, I mean, what we're being told by all of our peers and by everyone that's around this, you got to get in, you got to get on Facebook, you got to get on this whole Twitter thing, and then, well, how do I use LinkedIn? And I was just teaching another class, AIM class here at Rockcliffe, and we were going over the different mediums, and people were saying, well, how can I make them all work together, and how much time do I need to spend on each one, and what conversations and what language do I speak on each of them? Because I know that each social media platform has a unique language that needs to be spoken, because you're not going to talk about the kegger that you went to at the barbecue on LinkedIn, right? And you're not going to want to post a lot of business articles on Facebook. So how do you speak the platform's language? Let's start with Facebook. It's the biggest dog out there. Let's talk about that one. For a new and intermediate and then advanced agent, what are a couple of tips and tricks that they should be doing to get engagement? And do you like Facebook Live?
Well, I love Facebook Live. I mean, I can't imagine for any kind of an expert, any kind of a thought leader in any industry, but especially in an industry like real estate, if you're not using Facebook Live, then you're missing an incredible opportunity to get your voice out there for people to hear, and for you to become that thought leader, that expert that then can lead to other things like book sales and other things that maybe you want to do, or ultimately it's going to lead to leads. Listen, the person that's out there, the voice that's talking out there is the one that everybody wants in their front room. That's the reality. I mean, that's the reality. And so the problem that we have is that a lot of people are afraid to use something like Facebook Live, because they're just saying, well, I just don't know if it's going to work for me or not. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what to say. You don't have to do an hour-long show as your first show.
Mm-hmm. That's so true. You can do like 5 minutes.
When I tell people that, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say. I mean, I tell a lot of people to do a 5 minutes, 10 minutes, get an article about something, read it, then regurgitate it out. You don't have to be an expert on something. You just have notes. Tell them you're reading notes. Tell them you read a great article. Here are some tips.
That's right. And you know what? I tell people all the time, get out an envelope. You guys get envelopes every day, right? They look like this on one side. It's usually because there's a bill, right? Yeah. On the other side is this incredible thing, blank. And I tell people all the time, get out an envelope just like this and write down the top 5 things that you tell people all the time. What do you tell people all the time? You're around talking to people in your office. People call you and ask you. You're at your real estate events. You're talking to people. What do you talk about all the time? You talk about how to get leads. Maybe you talk about how to cold call. Maybe you talk about how to work with others in the industry, whatever it is. Just list those 5 things. And then what you do is, so I got the 5 things, or I'm going to list myself 5 things. Okay, so I got 5 things. All right. Then I start making myself an outline of these things. Okay, well, what topics are involved with those things? Can I make 2 or 3 topics under each thing? And then you know what? Get out that list. Just stop making excuses. Get out the list. Mm-hmm. Push out Facebook Live, turn it on, and start talking about point 1, number 1. talk for 10 minutes, sign off. You're going to look, after you've done 100 of them, you're going to look back at the first one and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I sucked that bad. But it doesn't matter because you started. Most of the time, people just have no idea what it's like. It's kind of like Blab. Let's talk about us a little bit.
Yeah.
Greg, I mean, Blab, I get on Blab, right? I'm watching you. I'm listening to you. I don't have to sit at my computer and type something to you on Blab. I could have sat there. My name came up. It says, Tim Stafford or whatever, and or at TM Stafford or whatever it says, whatever it says on Blab. And you could have said, hey man, hey Tim, thanks for joining us, and you just kind of keep talking, right?
Right.
And I don't have to say anything. I don't. I can sit there. I can watch you. I can then hang up at the end of the time and go, yeah, that was cool, whatever. But I didn't. What I said was, I heard you say something. I said, well, I'm just going to add something. I'm just going to see what happens. So I just put something in there. I didn't know if it was going to work or not. I had no idea. It's my first time on Blab. I just added something in. And all of a sudden, you go, hey, Tim, why don't you join us? So before you know it, I heard my face is on Blab. I've never been on Blab before. My face is on Blab. You see what I'm saying? It's one of those things where sometimes you just got to do it.
Yeah.
And if Facebook Live is scaring you because you just don't really know what to do, well, then get on Blab. Go to blab.im and practice, because you can always just exit it. You can just exit out. But, that's really important. So if you're a person that you're watching this show and you're like Greg and you want to be a thought leader, you want to be a person that people want to have their face in their front room or their face in their classroom, because for me, that's what I want. I want to be the guy with the face in the classroom, right? I want to be the guy in the face like I am right now. Then you have to get on these platforms. You have to just get over it, get your hair cut, brush your teeth, and do it. Make it happen.
The funny thing is, Tim, is you brought it up. I always joke about this. I mean, the first time I went live on video, the first time I went Facebook Live or Periscope or any of these other platforms that are out there, there's a bajillion of them. I immediately thought to myself when I saw the recording, I'm like, oh my God, that's what I really look like. Ugh, God, freaking why? And that's what I really sound like. How do people not go running to the ER with blood streaming from their ears? But right. You have to literally, hey, prima donnas, get over yourselves. Okay, right. You need to understand that. You know what? You may think that you have a face for radio, but you still have friends, you still have family, you still have people that are doing business with you, you still have people that want to hear the information that you have. You have a lot of knowledge up here that people want to hear about. And Tim, I'm going to piggyback on your whole five list idea there. As you guys know, Matt always makes fun of me for my yellow pads, my hobbit pads, as Matt says. I heard a great thing the other day. We all have a lot of notes. Guys, those notes are worth millions of dollars, because there's so much information, there's so much little cool notes, some thought patterns that you have, some insight that you may have just bing struck you that you could then, Tim and I could be watching you somewhere on a Facebook Live. We're like, that's a damn good idea. Why didn't I think about that? Right? So like, Tim, dude, just get out of your way. Tim, what was your first experience when you did a Facebook Live?
First time I did a Facebook Live, I just literally did what I just told you. Everybody was asking me about Twitter, so I created this infographic, which I think I sent to you on Twitter. It has these just different things that you got to do every day on Twitter, and so I turned it on. I said, "Hi, my name is Tim Stafford. Nobody knows who I am on Facebook Live because I've never been on here before, but I want to talk to you a little bit about Twitter." And I just started, and it was horrible, but I got through it, and it was so fun that I thought, okay, I got to do this. And in fact, I'm at the time I just discovered Blab at the same time. I kind of discovered it at the same time, and I was kind of thinking about getting into Blab and doing that. And then and like you said, as Blab has changed their platform, it's been a little bit harder for me to use. Mm-hmm. I'm really starting to get now to where I'm preparing to start doing some very real Facebook Live sessions, because I like the fact that they're in a platform that 1 billion people are connected to. Yep. And so the fact is not that your people are probably the customers that you don't have, the customers that you have, the friends and family that you have or wish you didn't have, in-laws, outlaws, or whoever, everybody. It's not a matter of if they're on Facebook, they are. They are because there are 1 billion people on Facebook, and it's growing every day. And so you have to understand that Facebook for us, a social media neophyte, somebody that's really new. Think of Facebook as the place where people who know you gather and are looking for you to give them information. So for you, so you're looking, these are people that know you. So in your mind, okay, now I know that there are a whole lot of people on Facebook that don't know you. I get that, but I'm just trying to give you, Greg gave me a very difficult task, and that is give you a simple structure for the newbie. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So this is for new people. If you're an advanced Facebook user and you're doing all kinds of stuff and you're buying ads and you're going crazy, then this may not be for you. But I'm just saying, if you're a newbie and you really don't know what to do on Facebook, absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, make sure that you have a page that's for your business. First of all, that's the first thing. Do not use your personal page for your business. It's just people don't care. I hate to tell you this, but your customers don't really want to see you at that kegger on the weekend. They just don't. Unless, and actually the truth is, what you really want is you really want to have the ability, to be honest with you, Greg, you want to have the ability to have your own life. And so, you know, be careful. And I always tell people this, no matter where I am. I spoke at I lectured on this at a university recently, and I was talking about this, that, you know, don't be so stupid as to put things that you wish you never said on Facebook.
Yeah,
it's happening. It's happening all the time. People are getting fired from their jobs. They're losing their scholarships at schools. They're doing all kinds of stuff. Don't be stupid and put things on Facebook that you hope your boss doesn't see, regardless if it's your personal profile or not. But having said that, you really do need to have a life. I mean, I have pictures of my kids, what they're doing, what I do in my community, things that I'm just involved in that, you know, my clients may or may not ever need to see or want to see. They don't. If I think that my clients want to see something that I'm doing, let's say that I'm running a 5K, that'd be a big day for me. If I was running a 5K, right? I want my clients to see that. Then I'll put a post on that page. Put a post on the professional page. There's nothing wrong with you putting something personal on your page. I'm saying don't make your business page your personal page. Don't make them the same. Make them different.
So what you're saying is that, I mean, a lot of people are, they ask me the same question, and I'm glad we're getting this cleared up, right? What about the folks that don't have a following on their business page? Can they post to their personal page and tell people to go like their business page? And
absolutely. Yes, okay. Absolutely. They should. They should, and they should get on there often, and they should push as many. You know, it's okay for you to ask people to do it. You know, just always use what we call the 80-20 principle. It actually has a name. It's called the Pareto principle. Pareto, Pareto principle. 80-20. The Pareto principle is 20% of the people do 80% of the work. And 20% of your customers are going to give you 80% of your business. That's typical. But the 80-20 principle in social media is give 80% of the time, ask 20% of the time.
Yeah.
So, but that doesn't mean, though, that you don't ask for action. That's a totally different thing. If I put something out there, if I'm giving them something, I say, tell me if you like this or not. Like I'm sending something out, like, a call to action is always okay 100% of the time. But what I'm saying is, if you want them to sign up for your email blaster, or you want to have them move over to your professional page or whatever, you want to do that 20% of the time, where they have to do something for you. Otherwise, what you're just asking them to do is engage. You're just saying, look, share this with your friends. Check this out. I just sold this house. Tell me what you think, and then they say, cool, man, whatever, I mean, those calls to action are always okay all the time. I'm just saying that this 80-20 principle is 20% of the time we want to ask people something personally, like, please do this for me. It's a more personal thing. If you'll stay to that 20%, people will engage more often.
You know what I relate it back to? We've all been at a dinner party or a gathering somewhere. We have some numb nuts that latches onto you like a fucking tick, or a blood sucking device. And what they do is they're gonna just browbeat you with something that you're like, oh shit, I have to sit next to to Frank. He's gonna try to get me to buy insurance all damn dinner, son of a bitch. That's exactly what we're talking about here. Don't be, what is it, Phil at dinner, whatever his name was. Frank at dinner. He's so forgettable. I forgot his ass. You don't want to be Phil or Frank, the guy I forgot so quickly, because you're pushing your wares on them. You want to talk about them. You want to use the Ford technique: family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. You want to draw information out of them, give something of value back to them. Make them like you. as soon as they like you, and then you drop the bomb, like, oh yeah, they're asking, what do you do for, oh, I'm in real estate. Oh, that's at a dinner party. But what we're talking about is giving all kinds of cool information, tips and tricks to them, something that you'd want to repost. I try to judge it on what I put out there. Would I want to repost this? Right. Or would I engage with this?
That's right. That's right. And remember too, sometimes what your people like is not necessarily what you like. No. Remember that. Sometimes in business, the fact that I like it, I like the widget that I made this widget and it does this cool thing, and I made it pink because my favorite color is pink. You might sell a lot of black widgets and never sell a pink one. So the thing is sometimes you got to sell black widgets. I mean, sometimes you gotta do something that maybe you're not real comfortable with or you really don't like, but it's what your customers want. So, ultimately, if you're going to make money, somebody's got to buy what you've got. You can't just love everything and then hang every widget that you ever made on your wall.
No,
it doesn't work like that.
So help me. Let's do this. Let's break it down. For an agent when they're getting started, a lot of folks when they get in the business, they have the lack of three things. They have the lack of a money, leads, and a network. So for an agent that's getting going on Facebook or is going already, can you please break down the way that you would have them get leads from Facebook with the cheapest way possible?
All right. Well, my answer to that is going to be probably different than most people. I don't know, but here's how I look at the social media. I know you asked me about Facebook, so I'm going to come back. I promise.
Okay.
But here's how I look at it. I look at Facebook as being the people that know me already. Okay. I look at Twitter as the people that do not know me, and I looked at LinkedIn as the people that I need to know.
Okay.
Okay. Good. All right. So that's it. Facebook, people that know me. Twitter, people that don't know me. That need to know me, and LinkedIn are the people that I need to know. Okay, so if I'm going to generate leads, then what I got to do is I got to put together not just one social media. See, the problem is that if I'm using that as if you take that framework that I just gave you, then it's really easy to figure out that I don't have anybody that knows me yet, right? So what I got to do is I got to go to the place the people already know me. So what you said already is what I would do. I would go to my friends and family and all those people, and I would start to not only ask them to join my Facebook, but I would also ask them to see you, buddy. Sorry, that was my son. But I would also, he doesn't know I'm live on the radio. He's, life is happening. Right?
It happens.
So, but not only do I want them to come and join me on my professional page, but also I want them to tell their friends, hey, will you please let your friends know that I'm a realtor, and push it out. That's the first thing you got to know. And then that's the first thing you can do. Then you've got to start to utilize Twitter. And Twitter, what Twitter is really good at is building a network of people who don't know you, who volunteer to become people who follow you.
Help me. So I'm Twitter retarded. We know this.
Right.
I'm an absolute
we
Twitter
talked about
retard.
this. Right.
So how would a Twitter retard? How would I start? Well, we'll get back to that in a little bit. But I want to hear you finish this out. But I want to dive a little on that too.
So what I'm going to do, I might answer some of your questions. So what I'm going to do on Twitter is, I have literally started people with one Twitter follower, their mom. I'm serious. I've started with one, and we've built it to 1,000 in 8 weeks.
Really?
So So the trick with Twitter is, number one, there's a tool out there that everybody needs to use. It's called Crowdfire app. It's free. So it's my favorite 4-letter F word, free. And but for $10 a month, you can add a lot of different platforms to it, but it really does a great job at your in Instagram as well, by the way, which I don't know we're gonna have time to talk about that today, but it does Twitter in particular. And what it does is it allows me to go out and find people like Greg McDaniels. So like if I'm a realtor, right, I can go out to Greg McDaniels. Like, let's say that I'm a consultant and I want to get into the real estate industry of consulting with realtors so that I can help them with their social media. Okay. So I find Greg McDaniels. Here's this guy. He's a talking face on Facebook Live. I'm watching him. Wow, this is crazy. He's on Twitter at McDaniel Systems or whatever your Twitter handle is. That's it. So I type that into Crowdfire, and it tells me here are all of Greg's followers. and I can ask them to follow me. I can go boom, 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 boom. Just follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me.
Get out.
And then in 48 hours later, if they haven't followed me, screw them. I let them go. Jump. I got them go. And so you have to remember that Twitter is very fast and it's unemotional. I mean, what you tweet might be emotional, but when you're trying to build a Twitter following, very unemotional. If you don't answer me, like, I want to follow you, will you follow me? Then boom, they're gone. They're gone. And what happens is I rotate that in and out. And then as people follow me, I start tweeting things. And if they retweet me, I get their handle. Mm-hmm. And I go on there and I look at all their followers, because my thinking is, if they retweet me, their friends will retweet me. If they want to follow me to the point that they'll retweet me, or they'll like me, like they give me a little heart, or they mention me in any way, then that means that they're listening to me. So I'm going to go and find all their friends. So I completely whore the entire world of Twitter constantly. I do it, and I do this all in 20 minutes a day.
Wow.
Do it 20 minutes a day. In 20 minutes a day, in 8 weeks, I can grow your Twitter following from 1 to 1,000 every time.
Do you see an exponential growth on that? So once you get to 1,000, do you see a 10-fold X explode? Can you go to 10,000 in another 8 weeks?
No, it usually goes, it's 2,500. That's the big one. And I've grown those in usually 12 weeks. 2,500 seems to be the magic number that I've found in Twitter, that it starts to actually gross its own. But at 1,000, you're seeing it though. At 1,000, you're starting to see it. You'll start, like, I'll tell my clients, okay, don't do anything for 6 days. Watch what happens. So they don't. And they'll go in and they'll go, holy crap, Tim, I got 12 new followers in one day and I didn't even do anything. I said, I know. So now what you got to do is you got to keep going, keep doing it. The one thing I got to tell you, Greg, about this is that it's 20 minutes a day, but it's 20 minutes every single day. You got to do it every day. You know, maybe one day a week, if you miss, you're going to be okay, but you got to do it every day. But then what I do is, once people start to, I use that same 80-20 principle. I'm tweeting stuff out. I'm retweeting. I'm whoring it all. I'm getting it all together. My numbers are going up. And then guess what? 20% of the time I send something out. Guess what I send out?
What?
Join me on Facebook. And I give the link, right? And then they come over. Guess what? They just became somebody that knows me.
Oh my God.
And so then I go, okay, so then I start whoring it again. Right? And then all of a sudden I go, join me on Facebook. Go, like, 6 come over. And so that's what I'm saying. I use Twitter to build my Facebook. So that's how those two work. And then I'll just talk about, and we can get back. Just let me get to LinkedIn.
Sure.
And LinkedIn, what I do on LinkedIn is I look around and I say, who are the thought leaders in my industry, right? So for me, if I'm a realtor, Greg McDaniel, I know I'm buttering his bread today because I'm on his show, but I would tell you that Greg McDaniel is one of your thought leaders. Why? If for no other reason, everybody, he's a talking face on Google Hangouts. He's a talking face on the internet. Talking faces on the internet means that they have followers. And so you have to assume that. You have to assume it. If you're a newbie, you have to assume that if it's a talking face, it has a number attached to it. And you want to be a part of that number. So you go on LinkedIn and you follow those guys. So I go on, if I'm a realtor, I follow him. But guess what? Realtors need people, right? They need people that they can get to know. So think of LinkedIn as a gigantic banquet, like one of those networking banquets. Just think of it, Okay. I mean, you got people from, you have literally everything. You can go find a mold investigative specialist on LinkedIn. You can find a doctor of female proctology. You can find anything on LinkedIn. And if you think to yourself, you know what? I would like to be able to partner with this kind of person in order, like, for instance, you might be able to find editors or classified editors of newspapers, and those people, like advertising agents for newspapers, follow them on LinkedIn. You can follow on what kinds of deals they have, what kind of advertising they're doing, how you can maximize what kind of advertising you're doing on Facebook based on what they're telling you is out there in the marketing world, as far as them listing properties or whatever. There are so many things that you can do on LinkedIn, and there are people you can find. You might be able to find a person who's teaching courses on Facebook on LinkedIn. and so you want to connect to them. So it's not so much that I want to get connected to all the other realtors, although that's fine. I mean, you can do that.
Right.
But I mean, ultimately now I'm connecting to the enemy in the sense that, now it might be a good idea for me to connect to realtors in Ohio. If I'm a joint venture guy, right, I'm going to connect to realtors like crazy. Right. I want to say, hey, look, I got some money, Greg. You put me in put some of my money in some of your houses in California. That's okay. But you know what? Property managers, real estate people need property managers.
Yeah.
You can connect to property managers. You can start relationships that way. So think of LinkedIn as like electronic business cards. You're handing them back and forth. But you gotta when LinkedIn, on your smartphone, right? You've got the LinkedIn app, and LinkedIn will tell you things like, Greg McDaniels has been at his job for 4 years. I never miss a day that I don't put on there, congratulations, Greg. And you will be surprised how many people say, hey, thanks a lot. And if you ever need anything in real estate, let me know. Okay, Well, I don't know if I'm going to need anything in real estate or not, but at least we've made a connection. And he's connected to me. And guess what I do, Greg?
What?
I find out that if you're on Twitter or not. If you answer me on LinkedIn, I find out if you're on Twitter. Because if you're on Twitter and you answered me on LinkedIn, that means your followers are probably going to answer me. So then you guess what? I start the whoring all over again, right? I start on Twitter, right? That's what I'm trying to show you is that Twitter becomes this hub of whoredom that everything kind of links into and out from. And if somebody likes me or if I've got engagement, I'll say, find me on LinkedIn, find me on Facebook. I spread them out that way. And then I find that what happens is everything grows. My Twitter grows faster than anything else because it's so violent. It's so frenzied. But everything else grows with very steady growth all the time.
So when it comes, I hope you guys all understood what he just told you, because we went fast and we're definitely going to break it down more, but holy sheep shit.
I'm sorry.
No, but that was, I'm sitting there, I've talked to you before and my head is still spinning listening to this shit. It's unreal. But so quick question for you. Okay, so I know you can get an embedment code for Facebook Lives. You can get other codes, right? So can you take that embedment code, take it over to LinkedIn, and start republishing your Facebook Lives with the embedment code? Can you do that?
I believe you can. Yeah, I believe you can. And a lot of times, LinkedIn too. Sorry, my computer is starting to go, so I gotta. Okay.
Yes, please plug in.
The hang on. Oop.
No problem. So the other thing is that.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear us?
Hello?
Yep,
Hello?
we're here.
Okay, we're there. Okay.
Yeah,
it just every like alert in the world just came up on my screen like you're going to lose your computer, and I thought, no, I can't lose that face. Okay, so the embed codes always work, but then the other thing is sometimes it's just a link. Sometimes you just have to go to the link of where that thing is, and you can put that into LinkedIn or Facebook, or not Facebook, but LinkedIn especially, or Twitter, and it'll just populate it right away. Those things are so well done now that you don't really have to worry about using embed codes as much as you used to.
Right. So this is another idea I want to throw at you for people to start using multiple platforms to create free leads. Now,
right.
So if you go, let's say you go out and you do either a video or a Facebook Live or something, you get that link, you get of that video, you then upload it to a site called rev.com,
right.
will transcribe the audio or video into written text with a 99% success rate or something like that. It's $1 a minute, guys. Okay, it's not expensive. Take that transcription, go copy and paste that into LinkedIn in the publishing area where you can publish, little articles. Take the link from your video and then put the link in there so you can start publishing information in there. Is that something that you would recommend doing, kind of be a thought leader in that arena as well on different subject matters?
Yes, but I would always tell you that 60% of the time, conversion happens on social media 60% of the time more often when there's a picture.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely.
And 80% of the time when there's video.
80%?
So, yeah, 80% of the time. If you want conversion, now what I mean by conversion is somebody's either going to like it, make a comment, or share it. Okay, or in the state of Twitter, they're going to either mention it, retweet it, or like it. Okay, if you put it out on LinkedIn, then they're going to like it, or they're going to share it. So
right.
If you want, so here's the thing, Greg, and this is kind of goes back to, remember we were talking about before with our envelope, right?
Yes.
Everybody needs to like put this. This is a sticky note term I'm about to give you. This is a sticky note. Stick this somewhere. You want to do atomized Atomized videos. Now, here's what I mean by that.
Atomized?
Atomized, Atomized, atomized. You want them to be short and valuable. They're like atoms. They're
Okay.
atomized. So you don't want to do. Listen, if you put a 30-minute video in LinkedIn, nobody's going to watch that. I'm just telling you right now, they're not going to do it. Okay, not going to do it. If they like Greg, they're going to go to a podcast, like a video cast like this. People know that it's an hour or whatever it is. If they like Greg and they go to YouTube, they can scrub it at the bottom. They can take the little thing and scrub at the bottom, and I'll get to the point. Okay, that's what I want. That's right. Okay. But I'm talking about if I'm going to send something out there like, hey, I'll do one for you. Hey, this is Tim. And I'm the social media guy, and here's my tip for the day. When you use Twitter, make sure that you're taking advantage of all the different people that you get on crowdfireapp.com. crowdfireapp.com. Make sure you're using it. Make sure that you're using it to be able to kind of ascertain, get all of the different contacts from the contacts of the people that are mentioning you, liking you, tweeting you. I do something for 2 minutes. I'm out, and I put that out there. Why? Because you have people's attention for usually no longer than 90 seconds. You have 15 seconds. Anytime a person opens up something, you have 15 seconds to get them to go the distance of no more than 90 seconds.
No kidding.
Yeah. So if you're making 3-minute videos, they're only watching a half of them for the most part. For the most part, this is for newbies, right? This is not for Greg, who if Greg made a 5-minute video, they'd probably watch it. But I'm just saying for a person like you who are out there, even like me, you get out there 3-minute videos, they're not watching them. You got to do small shots. So when I make this little thing right here, I might have my big topic. I could have 30 things under there, do them all a minute each. I've done 30 minutes. Wow. Then guess what? You can take all those 30 minutes, shove them all together into a 30-minute piece, and you can post that on iTunes or whatever. You could do that if you want, or you don't have to. Listen, there are plenty of people out there that are doing 2 and 3 minute videos, 1 to 3 minute videos, and being very successful at being thought leaders. Why? Because it's just enough for somebody to think about.
It's really true, Matt. He does shorter Facebook lives. And I do the longer Facebook Live. I'm going for the engagement. He's going for high quality content, very, condensed. And we're both seeing really good interaction. He's actually seen some really good interaction from very high level people that are following him because they don't have the time to watch,
That's right.
I would do, the folks that I'm appealing to, they have me in the background, as they're doing some work for, getting prepped for something or whatever. And they listen to whatever they can, and then they may come back or they don't come back. But the reason that it's so important is test it, you guys. Test it on Facebook. Test it. And I'm a huge A/B tester. Tim, are you the same way? I love to.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
We're talking off air. Like if you use the social media and you're not getting engagement, drop it like a hot rock. Keep moving. Because it doesn't do you any good to beat your head against the wall.
That's right. Try something. Try something on Facebook. If it doesn't work, don't be emotionally attached to what you did. Just try it. You go out there, you look at something that Greg did, you think to yourself, hey, I could do that. So you get on Facebook Live, you do something, you post a smart little video, doesn't get any engagement, try another one. Don't only try something once. Be careful because, sometimes it's just a time of day. Mm-hmm. Before I got on with you, I was on with a large nonprofit in Mississippi. That's I'm consulting with their network, their social network, and they were saying to me, "Man, Tim, we tried this thing, we just didn't get anything." I said, "Well, what do you mean you tried it? What does that mean? You tried it?" Well, we sent out an email. We sent out 5 emails, and I said, "Okay, well, when you sent out the 5 emails, tell me about that." Well, we sent them out. We sent them out at the same time every day, and we're just getting no engagement. I said, "Well, why would you send them out at the same time every day? Why didn't you send it out Monday at 10, Tuesday at noon, Wednesday at 3, Thursday at midnight? Try it all over the place." And they go, "Oh, really? Yeah." I guarantee you, Greg, they'll get something from that. Now, they may not get huge engagement, but they're going to get more than they got. Why? Because they're finding people. They're finding out. And I told you this before we got on, that the number one thing that people have to remember about social media is that it's all about the human behind the mouse. And so there used to be this old saying that in business that people vote with their feet, meaning that if they don't like what's going on, like if you're in a restaurant and you don't like what's going on, you leave, or you never come back. You vote with your feet. Well, in the digital world, you vote with your mouse. You know, if I'm looking at something and I don't like it, like people have done today on this show, they've seen it, they've seen some things, maybe they don't like me, maybe they like the shirt I have on, whatever reason, they click out. It's done. It's over, right? And so the people vote with their mouse and they go on to the next thing. So you have to remember that, you know, if you try something, do it again, but try it at a different time. Do it on a different day. Try things out, because you got to find people where they are. And then when you find something that works, so you send out an email, you've been sending out email blasts, you found out that your greatest engagement, you're looking at your numbers, right? Your greatest engagement is happening at Tuesday at 9 o'clock at night. Well, then ride that wave as long as you can. Send them at 9 o'clock every week until you don't get any more engagement. Try Wednesday at 9, try Thursday at 9, use 9 o'clock as your gauge. When you find out that, oh my gosh, you know what, it's crazy. Wednesdays and Fridays at 9 o'clock, I'm getting killer open rates. I'm doing all this great stuff. Okay, well then do that for a while. But the moment that you go 2 weeks in a row, you know, let's say, and you're seeing a downward trend, start all over the map again. Don't be afraid to dump your strategy and go to the next thing. Social media is extremely agile and it's fast, and you have to be in it. It is the old saying, the old Ronco chicken cooker.
Yeah.
Set it and forget it. That does never, ever will apply to social media. It won't apply to your emails. It won't apply to your social media. It won't apply to anything. You can't set anything in social media and forget it. You can't, because you will be forgotten in a heartbeat. It'll be gone. So you have to work it and work it. And I was telling Greg before I got on that I'm going to, maybe you're going to vote with your mouse right now. I'm about to say something that maybe you're going to vote with your mouse. And if you do, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, but if you're going to do 3 platforms a day, I cannot imagine that you're going to spend any less than an hour a day. I just can't, because for you to do what I'm talking about, and we're not even getting into the details of buying advertising and doing split testing, like what you're talking about, all that. We're just talking about I'm on every day. I'm engaging every day. Everybody that says something to me on Facebook, I answer every day. I got to go on 2 or 3 times a day. I might take me 3 minutes at a time, but I got to spend 6 times a day going on, making sure I get everybody. I never want 24 hours to go by that I haven't answered everybody who said something to me on Facebook. I got to retweet. I got to do everything on Twitter I want people to do for me. I got to mention, I got to retweet. I got to make comments. I got to do all that stuff. If I'm not doing all of that and I'm not taking an hour a day to do it, then I've got the set it and forget it mentality, and I will lose.
Well, yeah. But I mean, that's the whole point. A lot of agents are being sold a bunch of bullshit. You know, all these companies are like, oh, hey, you know what? Just come to us. We'll post this, all this crap out there. And a lot of the times it's useless bullshit that, you know, you're not going to want to read it or look at it. But like, hey, we promise to get, you know, this many, whatever's on your social media channels. But I think that loses the authenticity of the post. So you spend your time doing it, guys. This is marketing. Okay, this is just not your father's or your grandfather's way of marketing. This is marketing. This is the opportunity. There is the unique opportunity, I might say, to touch, you know, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. Who knows how many you're going to be able to touch if you have the right message and you put the right, you know, the right recipe together for people then to come back to you. You have to make it attractive. It's like the male or female that you married or, you know, dating or whatever else that was attractive to you, and that's why you're together. And if it's not, well, they weren't that attractive anymore to you for some reason. But you know what? Put something together. Now, Tim is going to come back on. I mean, we have we're going to start wrapping it up here in a few minutes. But you know what, Tim, in our last few minutes, speaking of recipes, see you, Eileen. You know, I want to talk about IFTTT because for a lot of folks, this is something that people are just like, what the is this whole IFTTT thing, and why in the hell is it important to me? Because we just talked about 3 platforms, right? But you know, how do I simplify my time? How do I you know, reduce it down so that I can be a lot more effective? So take it away on that one. Tell them how this. I love this thing, by the way, guys. Right.
Well, here's how IFTTT works: is that you have this thing called a recipe. A recipe is, and remember, IFTTT is just if this, then that. That's what it means. So if this happens, then I want, as the person in the middle, this to happen. So for me, how I use IFTTT is from Facebook. So if I post something to this page, which is my professional page, let's say, if I go to post something on my professional page, then I tell IFTTT, if something gets posted to this page, then also post it on Twitter. And so all I have to do, and then I can set up another one that says, if I post on Facebook on this page, post it on LinkedIn. So now I create content one time. I go and post it on Facebook, and then IFTTT posts it for me on the other two. Now here's the kicker, though. Here's the kicker, and this is what we were talking about before. So that automated thing, and there's all kinds of things you can do. Okay, I mean, you can have it. IFTTT will hook into your next heating elements. I mean, it'll do everything. But
seriously?
But yeah, it's crazy.
Oh.
But you know, but here's the thing. So I've done that, but I can't forget that it did that, because now the people that are on LinkedIn, right? The people that are on LinkedIn, they don't know that IFTTT did that. They think that I posted it there, and so they're reacting. So I have to be sure, as the person that posted, even though I've got all this automation going on, I have to be sure that I go on every platform every day and answer all the replies and the comments and make stuff. And I still have to be active in those things. You can't get IFTTT to be active for you, engaging, but you can use IFTTT to automate across platforms. You can set up RSS feeds that if you put something out there on your blog, it'll take the RSS feed and post everything to all the different platforms for you. There's all kinds of stuff that IFTTT will do. It's got hundreds of different, and it's got millions of different possibilities, and it's free. It's free. so you don't have to buy anything. You just have to keep it going.
So how do people make a recipe? How do they find these recipes? Are they pre-made, or do you make them? How's that happen?
Some of them are pre-made, and it'll just ask you to fill in, like it'll ask you to authenticate your Facebook page or whatever. But you literally click on the word "if," and then it'll have all these different icons with all these different things. And so you look for Facebook page. Dink. Okay. Then it'll ask you what Facebook page, and it'll list all your different Facebook pages, and you say, okay, I want this one from this particular place, Greg McDaniels. Okay. And then it'll say, then you click on then it lists all kinds of different things. And then you'll click on Twitter, and then it'll ask you, what do you want it to do on Twitter? And it'll give you all the different options that IFTTT can do. Do you want it to post? Do you want it to like it? Do you want it to whatever? And then and then you complete that, and it creates this thing between the two, and then you can just go on and test it. Now, here's the other thing, though. It can work in reverse. So I can go out there, like to Twitter, if you really get fancy. This is fancy.
Fancy pants.
But like I can go out there and say, let's say that what did you call it, the McDaniel challenge? Is that what you call it?
Yeah, the McDaniel challenge, yeah.
Okay, so let's say that Greg is using a hashtag called the McDaniel challenge, okay? Hashtag McDaniel challenge. I can go into a IFTTT and say, if on Twitter a hashtag McDaniel challenge happens, then I want you to post that I want you to then retweet that for me. Just retweet it on this Twitter. Yeah. So there's all that kind of stuff that can happen. Or if this person posts, automatically retweet, or like it, or mention it, or it doesn't mention, but it does retweet. Another cool thing that it does is you can use it for aggregation of data. Here's a really crazy thing. I can go out there and say, if whatever happens on my Facebook, if anything happens on my Facebook, a reply, put it in this Google sheet.
Yes.
In a spreadsheet. And so I can open up that spreadsheet at any time during the day on my phone. I can get out my phone, I can look at it and say, holy cow, I've got all kinds of things happening. And it can do that. It can email me. It can email me. There's all kinds of stuff it can do. Like I can say, if Greg McDaniels posts, email me. And it'll do that. Yeah. So it's got a lot of crazy stuff out there.
You know what? Man, we need more time than this, but we are running out of time on our show. I want to do this. People have got to have an opportunity to get in touch with you. You are ridiculously intelligent when it comes to this thing, and I know that a lot of people are going to want to get more of your knowledge. We were talking about some things that you're going to be finishing up that they can take advantage of. But first, I want to have them give them where they can get a hold of you.
Well, here's the deal, because you know what, Greg, you've been so great about having me on your show. I want to do your customers a favor. And so what I'd like to do is I'd like to offer anybody who wants to call me, they can call me at 321-202-8820. That's my personal cell phone. Just like yours. Look, I have it. I'll do the Greg McDaniel thing, right? And it turns on. Right. Okay. Those are my children right there. Okay. So, you can call me 321-202-8820. Leave a message, because I won't be able to pick it up every time, but leave me a message. Let me know that you're with Greg McDaniel, that you saw the show, that you're interested in the offer. I'll talk to anybody for 15 minutes for free.
Damn.
As a matter of fact, I'll tell you what. I'll make it 30. I'll talk to you 30 minutes for free. Okay. So what would normally, normally you'd have to, we would charge a lot for that, but it doesn't matter. I just want to be able to help people. So if people want to call me and have a conversation, talk to me about where they're struggling, whatever, I'll give you 30 minutes for free. Just because Greg put me on your show. That's the best I can give you. That's my secret. That's my best offer I can make you. Call me. Leave me a message. I'll try to call you back. If you don't hear from me in 24 hours for whatever reason, call me back. Don't be afraid to call me and bug me. I'll try to get back to you. If my phone blows up and I've got 50 people I've got to call, I'll do the best I can. You can text me at that same number. Say, hey, I listened to the show with Greg. I'd like to get together with you for 30 minutes. I'd be glad to give you a 30-minute phone call. I'm on Eastern time, so if you're in the California area, I can even talk to you after hours, after work, or whatever. I'm more than willing to help you, and I can just answer some basic questions in 30 minutes, and then and then again, if people want to use me to help them, we can always work something out, and we're always going to treat them right, Greg. I didn't get into this to make millions of dollars. I really did it because I wanted to be able to help people, and I'm a teacher at heart, and I just want to be able to help. So whatever I can do to help, 321-202-8820. You can also get me at TM Stafford. That's a TM Stafford at ruinstitute.com. TM Stafford at ruinstitute.com. Just you can email me. Let me know that you listen to the show. You can email me, and you know what? I'll even sweeten the deal, buddy. I'll sweeten the deal. Okay.
Okay, sweeten it up for me.
You can get 30 minutes on the phone with me for free, or you can send me as many emails as you want. I'll answer any email that comes. No charge.
You guys, if you guys have you honestly do not know what he just did for you. Okay, this is a ridiculously awesome thing. Next time we have you on, brother, we are going to go. We're going to talk about some additional social media channels. You guys, you know what? Thank you for tuning in today. We had a lot of fun. Tim covered a lot of stuff. There are some really good takeaways. We're going to talk a little bit more about IFTTT. That is an incredibly powerful tool that you guys can put into your business, and you can start leveraging your time immediately. But be careful, like he said. Don't forget, it doesn't respond for you. It posts out for you, but it doesn't interact for you. So you still have to be the human behind the mouse, as he was talking about. But you know what, guys? I
have two, Greg. I have 2 Periscope courses that are going to go live in the next 3 weeks, and then I've got some other courses in Facebook and Twitter, and putting these infrastructures together. We're working on those. So when those go live and we get ready with those, and we'll get with you and we'll let people know about them.
That would be amazing. We'd love to have you back on talking about that. If you guys like the information here, remember, go subscribe, okay? So you can get all of our videos, or go to I was going to say iTunes. You can go to YouTube, and you can subscribe to our channel, McDaniel Systems, and get all of our goodness there. You guys, one more time, take Tim up on his version of the McDaniel Challenge. Mentioned Real Estate Uncensored when you call him, and he'll hook you up with the deals. Also, take my challenge, guys, McDaniel Challenge. Stop being you. Get off the freaking fence. Call me, 925-915-1978. Guys, there is no pitch. There's no anything attached to this. There's no, I'm not going to trick you into buying something, okay? You don't need to get the credit card out. It's just us hanging out, having a beer or two, chatting, getting to know each other. I will help unlock you. I was talking to one of the guys that was called in earlier today to take the challenge, found out he's a chef. Within 10 minutes, I gave him a whole laundry list of ideas how we can leverage some of that knowledge to gain more out of it. So with that being said, you know what? God, Tim, amazing to have you on. We truly were blessed to have you. You guys, we do the show because we love you. Unfortunately, Matt's not here today, but he's thinking about you on the road. And you know what, guys? We are going to be back. What is today? Today is Wednesday. We're going to be back on Friday with another amazing show. I believe it is just going to be me and Matt. We're going to just tear the roof off this bitch and just give you guys some amazing content. So until then, you guys, I want you to know I love you. Can't wait to see you. Have an amazingly prosperous day, if I can talk, and we'll see you on Friday. You guys have a great day.
Thanks, Greg. See you later.
Thanks, Tim. Bye-bye.
Bye.